Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love finding high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. Yes. So if that sounds really interesting to you, I hope you guys will consider subscribing and joining this little journey with me. All right, so let's get into it. Y'all really did beat a whole blush collection out of Mama Pat. Like, beat it out of her. Now, I purchased my first Pat McGrath product last year, and that literally created a craze in me to the point where I have all of her motherships now, and I have way too many Pat McGrath products for somebody that was introduced to the brand only last year. And one thing that I noticed, kind of like from the jump, is that everybody had been calling for a blush. Just one blush. People only wanted one blush from Mama Pat. And Pat McGrath finally delivered. She gave us a whole blush collection. In addition to a quad, a highlighter, and I think some new lip products or some repeats of some lip products. So the time has finally come where we have a blush collection from Mama Pat. Now, I decided to pick up a couple of products because I really was interested in trying it out. And this is not typical for me because even though Pat with her launches will typically give you a 10% off, I like to wait for a good sale because Pat will usually give a 25 to 30% off sale a couple of times throughout the year. She did one kind of like pre-summer, so like a spring sale. And I assume there will be one coming down to Black Friday or even before then. But as we're going into the summertime, I've been really interested in blush. So I wanted to try the blush kind of before it got cold again. So I said, you know what? I'm going to pick up the blush. Now, what did Pat exactly give us? So in terms of the blush collection, we got 9 new blushes. And when it comes to the blushes, they come in 2 different formulas, either a satin or a demi matte formula. So on her website, the blushes are available as individuals for $38 a piece, or you could purchase them as a part of some bundles. Now, what I chose to do was buy the bundle where you could get 3 blushes. And the way that kind of worked is that you could either purchase a sort of pre-curated bundle where the blushes were broken up into sort of the 3 lighter shades, the 3 medium shades, and the 3 deepest shades. Or you could actually build your own bundle for $96. So if you were interested in getting more than one blush, it was cheaper to get the bundle because it did make each individual blush slightly cheaper. And then you still got the 10% off on top of that. Now, I did not pick up the quad or the highlighter because I have too many highlighters and too many eyeshadows in my collection that I have not used yet. Do I want them? Yes. Will I probably pick them up at a later point? Yes. I will definitely pick them up at a sale if they're still available. And I say if they're still available because the quad is actually limited edition, but the highlighter, I believe, is permanent in her line. And the important thing that I want you all to kind of get from this video is that the blushes are permanent in her line. Do not, I repeat, do not feel like you need to go out and buy these blushes now because they will be there and you could get them for 25 to 30% off later. So if you can, hold on. If you really want to try it, go forth. So that's just what I wanted to flag. So let's just dive into it. So the blushes come in this really cute purple box stain with her Divine Rose theme. The name of the blush is actually listed at the top of the box, and the box opens up with this flap. Now, you guys would have seen last year with the mothership Mega that Pat has been sort of moving away from her typical tie packaging. So we no longer get the sort of string packaging here to open it. Now, this is still very beautiful. The artwork on the box is extremely stunning. So I don't mind it. I do think that the tie definitely gave it a little bit of a, extra feel, but we could look past that. So like I said, you open up the packaging and then you have the blush component. So the blush comes in the same black lacquer package that you find in her quads as well as in her large motherships. For, just sort of size reference, this is one of Mama Pat's quads and this is the blush component. So you can see that the quad is larger than the component. The other difference is the way in which Pat McGrath's logo appears on the quad versus the blush component. This, it's just kind of printed on, which it's fine, but it's definitely cheaper than the quad component where you have the almost like raised and textured logo of Pat's. But I'm not going to complain about that. The other main thing I want to point out is the way in which the components close. And I have this one slightly open because this shit is hard to open. When people said that this component was hard, believe them, because it took a lot of work. Now with Mama Pat's quads, it is a magnetic clasp, so very, very simple. However, with the blush, it is a push component. So in order to open it, you have to push this little button here, and that releases it. Now, I do think that this is going to be challenging for anybody that may have mobility issues, because I struggle to open this with my little nails. It took some work. So I actually haven't closed it because I know it's going to take some time and a half to get it open. So you'll see the little hook here that goes into this clasp. So that is sort of packaging and outer features of the blush. One thing that I do want to flag about the blushes, like I said, they come in two finishes, satin or demi matte, but I will say that the satin finish is only offered in the lighter shades, which I was a little bit disappointed by, because I know with pretty 100% certainty that those lighter shades aren't going to work for me, but I am interested in getting a satin blush from Mama Pat, so hopefully there will be more satin blushes in deeper shades that, you know, people like me could use, but it is what it is. Now, let's talk about the blushes that I picked up. So what I'm going to do is give you guys some swatches on the back of my hand of the 3 blushes that I picked up, and then I'm going to apply each blush to my face so you can see how it wears. For base, I am currently wearing Mama Pat's primer as well as her foundation. What I did today is mix the 2 shades that I own, so Medium Deep 23 and Medium Deep 26. So I applied the foundation, I set it with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Setting Powder. I have nothing else on my face other than my brow products. So no bronzer, nothing else. So I'm going to just apply them directly to the skin. I wipe it off. So I'll do one, wipe off in between, and then apply the last one. And then I'll come back and give you guys my final thoughts. All right. So first up, we have Divine Rose, which is described as a cool mauve rose with a demi matte finish. Next, we have Lovestruck, which is described as a berry pink with a demi matte finish. And lastly, we have Paradise Venus, which is described as a terracotta with a demi matte finish. Okay, so here we have all 3 blushes swatched on the back of my hand. I will say that they were very, very soft to the touch when swatching them. There was kick up in the pan, but nothing crazy. I'm actually very excited. I was a little bit worried that Divine Rose might be too light for me, but I think that it would work really, really well as a nice everyday shade. I am loving how Paradise Venus looks. I think that's going to be stunning on deeper skin tones. And even Lovestruck, it is a really, really nice sort of bright pink that I think is just going to be perfect for the summer months. So let's get into some face application. Okay, so I'm going to use 3 different completely clean brushes for each blush, so there will be no cross-contamination. These 2 are from the Sigma sister brand called Pract, and then this one is from AOA Shop Miss A. So the AOA Studio brand from Shop Miss A. Oh, I also forget that it comes with a really nice mirror. Okay, so going into Divine Rose first on the right side of my face. And I'm going to do Very light application, and then build it up so you guys can see how this blush builds. You can see that product on the blush there. Oh, this is pretty. This is a really beautiful shade. If you are my skin tone, or probably even a little bit darker, and you're looking for an everyday blush, I definitely think that this is it. This is beautiful. Okay. And this is probably where I would stop for like normal application. I'm going to add a little bit more just so you guys can see how buildable this product is. How buildable this shade is really. So again, picking up some more on the brush. Oh my God, this is so pretty. I am loving this shade. Can you really have on too much blush? Is that a thing? Okay, it probably is a thing, and I'm probably getting to that point, but she is cute. So there we have Divine Rose. Very, very beautiful. Very nice demi matte finish as it promises. Next, I'm gonna go in with Lovestruck on the left side of my face. Ooh. Lovestruck has a lot more kick up in the pan than Divine Rose did. Wow, like a lot more. I am actually a little worried, so I'm gonna tap some of that off and then go in very, very lightly. Okay. So here we have Lovestruck. Now this is definitely a vibrant shade, so I will say be very careful when going in with this, because you can go overboard and end up looking like a clown real quick. But it is a beautiful shade. And what I am noticing about these blushes is that even if you do go in a little bit heavy-handed on the initial application, they do blend out and diffuse really nicely. It kind of reminds me of her eyeshadow formula, which when she has like a really deep or rich matte shade, you can blend that out to really soft, beautiful shade in her eyeshadows. And I think that these blushes are doing the exact same thing. So I know I definitely went a little heavy-handed with this blush, but I do think that I am able to diffuse it and make it a little bit softer. But I want you all to get sort of the full kind of impact of what this color is. And I think it is stunning. I like it. I think that this is perfect for the summertime. If you are looking for a really nice sort of vibrant summertime blush, and you also, my complexion, Lovestruck will definitely give you that. So, and I don't think it looks crazy. Like, even though this is probably brighter than I would normally go for, I don't feel like a clown wearing it. I feel like I would be comfortable wearing this out. And like I said, I could diffuse it a little bit. And even if it is a little hard to diffuse, you just need to go over with like your foundation or your powder to just soften it up a bit. But wow, it doesn't emphasize any texture. It blends in really beautifully. Okay. I really like this. So just to show you guys, we have Divine Rose on this side of the face and we have Lovestruck on this side. Okay, let me wipe this off, reapply my foundation and setting powder, and I will come back to apply the final blush. Okay, so we're back. Foundation has been reapplied. Again, I set it with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. And we are about to go into the last shade that I picked up. And this is the deepest shade in the collection, Paradise Venus. Now, I was most excited for this shade because I love a good terracotta blush. So, you know, let's see how this looks. This might be even, you know, too deep for me. So I have to go in a little light-handed, but I'm way too excited. So let's go in. And I am noticing that these deeper shades have a lot more kick up than Divine Rose, which I think was in sort of that medium range of blushes. And these were definitely like, and this one is, you know, the deepest shade. So you see I have that product on the brush and I'm gonna go in on my right side. Okay. So right off the bat, just a ton of pigment. And since I only picked up 3, I'm gonna go into the left side of my face as well. It's a beautiful, rich color. If you are deeper than me, you are going to love this. Heck, if you're even my shade, you're gonna love this. Now, if you are lighter than me, just take it easy because this one definitely packs a punch when it comes to pigment. And I have definitely applied way too much, but it's okay. This is just for demonstration purposes. This one is a little bit harder to diffuse and soften than Lovestruck, but it is the richest and the deepest shade in the collection, so I guess I kind of anticipated that. Okay, so here we have Paradise Venus on both sides of my face. This is a beautiful shade. It's extremely rich. It is perfect for deeper complexions. I think it's perfect for medium complexions as well. I really like this. I think this is one that I'm going to get a ton of use out like in the fall because it is definitely richer. But I really, really enjoy this. So you guys saw all 3 of the blushes applied on my skin. So here are my sort of final thoughts and my first impressions about how these applied. Now, I love these blushes. I already can tell that I really, really enjoy this formula. I think that it went on really smooth. It wasn't patchy and it was such a soft application. And I think it just looks beautifully on the skin. I do believe that it is a true demi-matte formula. Like, even though it is a powder formula, it doesn't look dry. It definitely looks very skin-like, very natural. Now, I am wearing this with Pat's foundation, so I assume that this is the best pairing possible. I definitely want to try it out with some of my other foundations to see if it plays as nicely. But so far, very, very impressed. Now, one thing I will say is that the 2 deepest shades that I had, so Lovestruck and Paradise Venus, had a lot of kick up in the pan. So it's definitely a very soft, very powdery formula that you want to be careful with when you go in with your brush, because if you start to swirl, you will have powder everywhere. So just be careful. Again, here are sort of the 3 shades swatched on my hand. Right now I have Paradise Venus on the face. I do think that this is a beautiful formula. It is a $38 blush, so it is kind of up there. So definitely wait until a sale. I've heard people say that you don't need to buy every blush in this collection, and honestly, I probably agree with them. I do think that the 3 that I picked up were different, were very, very different. They did not look the same at all. So I am happy with sort of the range that I got. Will I pick up more blushes from Pat's collection? Maybe. I do have my eye on Desert Orchid because that's one of the satin formulas, so it has that gold pearl in it. But we'll see. No. Now, I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I have no criticism on this blush. Aside from the component being real hard to open, I really like it. I really, really do. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that seeing the different colors on my skin tone can help you decide which blushes from the collection would probably best suit you. If you liked this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you picked up any of Pat's blushes and what your favorite shades are, or if you are planning to pick up her blushes, what you're looking to grab. So, thanks for joining me today, guys, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.